Margie. We have already 131. You're here. You're on time. That's awesome. So let's get started. Hi, everyone. I'm Margie, and I'm going to be teaching this class. And I'm a writer, and I'm a director, and I do a lot of theater, and I write screenplays, and I do a lot of writing, and I do a lot of teaching all ages, including college, but everything from like 5-year-olds to 85-year-olds, and everyone is different. So it's very cool. And in this class, we are going to be reading fairy tales, and we're going to be drawing scenes from fairy tales, and we're going to be acting out fairy tales. And by the end of the week, we're going to be writing our own fairy tales, because we're going to hear about how to structure a fairy tale. That's the point of this class. So what I want to start with, I want to hear about you. I want to hear why you're in this class. Are you a writer? Do you just love fairy tales? Do you just like to tell stories? Are you just in it just for something to do, or did your mom tell you to take the class? I'm sure there's some of you like that. Anyway, I want to hear about you. So can you tell me in the chat? Layla, you love to read? Me too. Like, I love to read since I was like 5. I started sort of reading, and like when I was like your age, like I would go to the library every Saturday, and you'd always see me coming home, and I'd have like this many books, because I would just read and read and read. And when it was time to go to bed, I would still be reading, and my mom would turn off the light, and I would read under the covers in the dark. And that's why I had to have glasses, because I just couldn't stop reading. Yeah, I love to read. And that's how I learned to be a writer, was by reading good stories. Yeah. Vincent, you have a wild imagination. Excellent. I look forward to hearing your imagination. I'm glad you said that word, imagination, because this is going to be a class in which we keep our imagination going. And because of that, I'm a really strong believer in kind of warming up your body in order to warm up your imagination. So every class after today, we're going to start by doing warm-ups, and they're going to be kind of like fun warm-ups and combined with acting warm-ups and dance warm-ups. And yeah, we're going to have warm-ups every day. And also every day this week, we will, in about the middle of the class, we're going to have what I call dance break. We're going to have 5 minutes of dancing. I'm going to put on a video, and we're going to dance. And me too. And just to kind of keep us kind of like our imaginations active. And you're going to see me, like, I don't sit the whole time. I just like need to get up and move around, because I have a lot of energy, and you should too. You're not in class right now. This is not in a classroom, so I'm not going to be like the teacher goes, sit down. I'm not even going to see you, not unless we share the screen. So please get up, move around, do what you need to do to keep your imagination going. Alex has so much imagination. She already likes to invent stories and songs. She's very expressive. Thank you, Alex's parents, or whoever that is. I appreciate that. This is like the 3rd week I've taught a class with this age group, and at first I thought maybe none of them could write, but sometimes they can write. I appreciate the parents who are here to help. And Casey too. Thank you, moms who are helping to help translate this to those kids, because we have kids. We have a 4-year-old, you guys. I know we have a couple of 3rd graders, because I looked at the list, so we kind of have a range. Yeah, so we'll be dealing with that. This is our class. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear from the moms. Thank you. And I'm glad you're here. Fractured Fairy Tales. I have directed a production of Fractured Fairy Tales like 4 times. I really like funny stuff. And I like funny stuff. And so funny fairy tales, like, give me a funny fairy tale any day. 3.5 years old. Excellent. Thank you, Nahira. Thank you for bringing your daughter to this class. I will keep it really active for her. Yeah. And 1st grade. Okay. So yeah, we have lots of different ages, and I'm really glad to hear from those because I was worried about the ones who weren't writing yet. So I'm really glad the moms are here. So blah blah, stop, Margie. We're gonna get on our feet and warm up. All right. So we're warming up. Okay, so I'm gonna stand here like this. You can see me like up to my waist. Okay, so we're gonna start by just kind of run in place. Okay, get the blood going. I don't know what you've been doing for the last couple hours. I just taught a class, so I got a little exercise, but maybe some of you have been sitting too long and it's good to get up. Let's turn off the chat now, Mishra, so we can make sure everyone is doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is exercising. Okay, we're going to stretch like it was first thing in the morning and we just woke up. So we're going to stretch out our arm and stretch out the other arm and stretch out arm and stretch out the other arm. And one more time, stretch out one arm. Should feel good. Stretch out the other arm, both arms, and yawn. Oh, because first thing in the morning. Right here, I'm in Washington State. It's 11:30 a.m. I know it's later for a lot of you. It might be like right after lunch. You might have just eaten lunch. Anyway, okay, next thing is going to roll our head around slowly one way and then the other way. We're going to go like slowly around like this, and again, slowly around like this. And one more time, slowly around like this. Should feel good. If you're straining, you should do it less, smaller. All right, now let's go the other way. Going around like this. One, and again. Two, and again. Three. Slow is good. Fast is not good. Not for this exercise. Okay, shoulders. Here's what we're going to do with our shoulders. We're going to go forward with our shoulders. Then we're going to go up to our ears. We're going to go all the way back and then down. And again, forward, up, back, down. Should feel good. If it doesn't feel good, do less. Forward, up, back, down. Okay, now we're going to go the other way. Back. Here, I'll show you the side. Back, then up, then forward and down. Back, up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down. Okay, next thing, we're going to stand with our feet hip, shoulder width apart. So they're like about a foot apart. My feet are about a foot apart, and my toes are pointed straight forward. And I'm going to bend my knees a little bit. And I'm going to put my arms out to the side to make sure you have room to swing your arms without hitting anything. Yeah, because we're going to swing our arms a couple different ways. So we're going to start by swinging one arm to the front like this. Swing it around and swing it around. Should feel good. Swing it around and swing it around. Now we'll go the other way. Swing it around and swing it around and swing it around and swing it around. Good. Other arm. Go back first. Swing it around and swing it around and swing it around and swing it around. And now we'll go forward. Swing it around and swing it around and swing it around and swing it around. Okay, now we're going to swing our arms from side to side. So right now, I want you to put your arms all the way up. Make sure you're not going to hit anything if you swing, because if you like hit your hand on something when you're swinging, that could really hurt. So make sure you have room. You should have room. Every day you should have room to move around, and you should be wearing clothes you can move around in, because we'll be moving around a lot. Okay, so feet facing forward, Bend your knees a little bit, feet about shoulder width apart, arms out like this, and swing, 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 and swing. Okay. I think the blood must be rushing to your head. Your imagination is in gear. And we are going to take our hand and we're going to shake it out toward me. Shake it, 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 shake it. And the other hand. Shake it, 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 shake it. Good. Feet. Now hold on if you need to hold on. Shake a foot, 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 shake a foot. Other hand, other foot, other foot. Shake a foot, 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 shake a foot. Then shake everything, and 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 shake everything. Okay, I'm warmed up. Hope you're warmed up. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm back here. All right, so we're going to talk about fairy tales this week, and we're going to talk about the parts of a fairy tale. So the parts of a fairy tale, if you're a writer, this is important. If you're a reader, this is important. The parts of a fairy tale are kind of the same thing as the parts of any good dramatic story. It's the same thing. There's a recipe. Write that word in the chat. Recipe. Recipe. It's a recipe for a good fairy tale. And it's not quite the same, but it's kind of similar in a way to recipe for anything you make. So I'll bet some of you have helped your mom or dad cook something or bake something. I just had a chocolate chip cookie. Let's take chocolate chip cookies. Misha, can we turn on the chat and see if anybody has ever helped their mom and dad make cookies? Because I'd like to hear if you've made cookies before. Yes, Alex? Cool. Good. Okay, a lot of you. Or cake. Yeah, cake. Hazel, yeah. Stephanie, yeah. Isabel, Patricia, Maria, excellent. A lot of you. So you know a little bit. You made sugar cookies yesterday, Melanie. Jai's made cookies. Porva's made cookies. Ooh, Samanvi's made banana cake. Bernice made strawberry cake. Cookies and ice cream, King? Ooh, ice cream. That sounds hard. Emma said yes. Okay, cool. A lot of you have made cookies, cupcakes. You helped your dad make cupcakes. Blondies, those are good. They're like brownies, but they're yellow. Cool. All right, so good. Waffles, all right. Excellent. So we can turn off the chat now, Mishra. Thank you. So you guys have the idea of what a recipe is. So if you're making cookies, like some things you definitely need, you need flour. You need flour, and you usually need sugar or something like sugar, something sweet, and a lot of times you need eggs. You need butter or oil, otherwise it's going to be really dry. And if they're chocolate cookies, you need chocolate, duh. And if you like nuts and you're not allergic to nuts, then you might have nuts in your chocolate chip cookies. That's some of the recipe for a chocolate chip cookie. You need these things in order to make the cookie. And if you don't have them, then the cookie doesn't turn out the way you want it. And a really good example of that is if you forget the butter or the oil, then they're really dry and they taste like dust. Ugh. Yeah. So there's a recipe for cookies. There's a recipe for a good fairy tale. And everyone, fairy tales, most of them, they've been around a really long time. Some of them have been around for hundreds, even thousands of years. why are they still around? Why do people still tell the same stories? Because they're good. They're really good, and we're interested in them, and we keep being interested in them like so many years later. If you're a writer, wouldn't you like to write something that people are going to read like in 300 years? That would be really cool. It would be really cool to know that your stories stand the test of time. Well, fairy tales are like that. And often fairy tales are retold differently, and when different people tell the fairy tales, they're a little different, but they're still basically the same story, basically the same recipe. And so what we are going to learn about in this class is the recipe for a good fairy tale. Okay, so I'm going to start. We're going to have a new fairy tale every day. I'm going to start with a fairy tale. I'm going to tell you a little bit of the story, then we're going to watch about a 5-minute video of this story, and then we're going to talk about it. So the fairy tale I want to start with is called The Three Billy Goats. Gruff, I'm going to write that in the chat. 3 Billy Goats. Gruff, some of you may know it, some of you may not know it, but by the end of this class, you will know it. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of the story, then we're going to watch this video. So The Three Billy Goats, Gruff, is about these 3 goats, and they're, in this version, they're brothers, and there's a little one, and he might be like 3 years old or something. And then there's his middle brother who might be like 6 or 7. I don't know. It doesn't say, but just kind of how I interpret it. And then there's the big brother, and the big brother is big enough to have horns. That's the big one. They're brothers. And they're in a pasture, and they're eating grass, because what do goats like to do? Well, they like to climb, and they like to eat. That's basically all they do, is climb and eat. What a life, right? That'd be a fun life. I like goats personally. So anyway, so they love to eat, and they're very happy. They're in the pasture, and they're eating grass. The grass is delicious, and that's all they do all day is eat grass. What a life. Okay, so the problem is, there's a problem. There's always a problem in a fairy tale. The problem is they run out of grass. Like, they ate all the grass in this huge pasture. They ate it all. So what are they going to do now? They have nothing to eat. OMG, nothing to eat. So they have nothing to eat, but across the river, there's a bridge that goes across this river really close to them. And across this bridge, there's a whole other pasture with like way better grass, like a ton better grass, way over there. And they really want to go over there and eat that grass. Yeah. But there's a problem. There's a problem. The problem is there's a troll. Troll lives under that bridge, guards that bridge. And that troll's favorite food is billy goats. Favorite food is billy goat. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? They have nothing to eat. They really, really need to get over to that pasture. What are they going to do? Fly? Goats can't fly. They could take an airplane over there? Yeah, I don't think so. So I'm not going to tell you what happens, but that's kind of how the story begins. So there's 3 billy goats, and the troll lives under the bridge, and the goats desperately want to get over to the other side of the bridge so they can eat the grass. Yeah? All right, so let's watch this. I have one set up here. I'm going to share the screen. This one. That's not the one I want. That's for later. Here we go. 3 billy goats. Scrub. Here we go.
This is the story of 3 Billy Goat Scruff. Once upon a time, there were 3 Billy Goat brothers who lived on a grassy hillside near a river. There was Little Billy Goat Gruff, Middle Billy Goat Gruff, and Great Big Billy Goat Gruff, the largest of all. The Billy Goat Brothers lived happily on their hillside, spending their days munching grass and drinking cool water from the river. But then, one terrible day, they looked around to see that they had eaten all the grass on the hillside.
Oh no! What will we eat now?
Cried little Billy Goat Gruff.
Don't worry, little brother.
Said middle Billy Goat Gruff.
Look across the river. There's a lush meadow over there filled with delicious grass.
That's right, said big Billy Goat Gruff. All we have to do is cross the bridge and we can eat all the grass we want. But crossing the wooden bridge over the river was dangerous. The Billy Goat Brothers knew that an awful, smelly troll lived underneath the bridge, and his favourite thing to eat in the whole wide world was Billy Goat. Who will cross the bridge first? Asked great big Billy Goat. Finally, little Billy Goat Gruff spoke up.
I will cross the bridge first.
He took a deep breath and trotted down the hillside. Clippity-clop, clippity-clop, clippity-clop went his hooves on the wooden bridge. Who's that clip-clopping on my bridge? Shouted the troll.
It's I, little Billy Goat Gruff.
Said the youngest Billy Goat, trying to sound brave.
I'm going over the river to eat the grass on the other side.
Oh, no, you're not, said the horrible troll. He climbed up onto the bridge. His skin was green, and his nose was long and crooked. He had warts on his skin and sharp yellow teeth in his mouth. I'm going to eat you instead. Little Billy Goat Gruff was very scared of the smelly old troll, but he was also a very smart billy goat.
I don't think you want to eat me. You see, I'm the smallest billy goat. I won't make a very good meal, but if you wait, my older brother, middle Billy Goat Gruff, will come along. He's much bigger than me.
Right, you may cross the bridge. And so, little Billy Goat Gruff clippity-clopped the rest of the way over the bridge and was soon in the lush meadow. On the other side of the river, the two other Billy Goat Brothers saw that their youngest brother was safe.
I'll go next,
said middle Billy Goat Gruff, and off he went across the wooden bridge. Clippity-clop, clippity-clop, clippity-clop. Who's that clip-clopping on my bridge? Shouted the troll.
It is I, middle Billy Goat Gruff. I'm going over the river to join my brother in the meadow.
The smelly troll climbed up onto the wooden bridge a second time. Oh, no, you're not, he hissed, because I'm going to eat you. Middle Billy Goat Gruff was scared of the troll, but like his younger brother, he was also a smart goat.
You could eat me, but you would be making a mistake. If you just wait a short while, my older brother, great big Billy Goat Gruff, he's the biggest of all of us and would certainly make the best meal.
Right, you may cross the bridge. And so, middle Billy Goat Gruff clip-clopped the rest of the way over the bridge and was soon in a lush meadow with his younger brother. On the hillside, great big Billy Goat Gruff could see that both his brothers had made it safely across the river, and so off he went, down the hill and onto the wooden bridge. Clippity-clop, clippity-clop, clippity-clop. Who's that clip-clopping on my bridge? Said the troll.
It is I, great big Billy Goat Gruff. I'm going over the river to join my brothers in the meadow.
The vile troll climbed up onto the wooden bridge a third time. Oh, no, you're not, because I'm going to eat you instead. Unlike his younger brothers, great big Billy Goat Gruff was not afraid of the terrible troll. The large goat stamped his hooves, lowered his great big horns, and charged at the troll. Crash! He rammed the troll right off the bridge. The horrible, ugly, smelly troll fell into the river with a great big splash. And so, great big Billy Goat Gruff clip-clopped the rest of the way over the bridge and was soon in the lush meadow with little Billy Goat Gruff and middle Billy Goat Gruff. The three Billy Goat Brothers spent the rest of their days happily munching green grass and drinking cool water from the river. The ugly troll was never, ever seen again. The end.
Remember
Okay. All right, you guys, the three Billy Goats Gruff. What'd you think of that story? Mishra, can we turn on the chat and get some comments about this story? What did you think of this story? Let me know what you thought of this story. And we're going to start talking about what is in the recipe of this story. The first thing we're going to talk about, you liked it? Cool. I'm glad. I'm going to send you, I will send you a link to this in the email today so you can watch it again if you would like to. And you guys just know that you may have a different you may have read this story before, and it might actually be a different version of the story, and that's common. It's common to have different versions of the story. So this is just the one that this filmmaker made, and different ones are different. But the general recipe of the story is usually the same. Saria says the littlest Billy Goat came up with a good idea. Yes, excellent. Okay, let's turn off the chat now. Thank you, Mishra. So, what are we going to start with for the recipe for a good fairy tale? We're going to start with character. Okay, I'm going to write that word here for you guys. Characters. A good fairy tale has to have good characters, interesting characters. And what are characters? Characters are everyone who talks in the story is a character. And in a fairy tale, it's not just people who talk. It's animals who talk, and creatures could be dragons or trolls or aliens or zombies or all sorts. In fairy tales, it's not just people who talk, but there are people in a lot of fairy tales. And this fairy tale doesn't have any people. It only has animals and a troll, none of which are human, and they all talk. So they are the characters in this story. There are 4 characters in this story: the 3 goats, the 3 Billy Goats, and the troll. The 3 Billy Goats and the troll. So I'm going to turn on, Mishra is going to turn on the chat again, and I want to hear from you. Who is your favorite character and why? I don't want one-word answers. I don't want the troll. I don't want I want to know why. What is it about that character that makes that character interesting to you? So let's see what you come up with. Which character is the most interesting to you and why? Which character is the most interesting to you and why? Tell me in the chat which one is the most interesting to you and why. Were you waiting for Mishra to turn on the chat? Which character is most interesting to you and why? Should be on. Thank you. The goat, because they eat grass. Okay. The little Billy Goat. Isabel, why? Why the little Billy Goat? Why the little Billy Goat? A couple of you are saying the little Billy Goat. Tell me why. And then we'll move on. The youngest one, because he's cute. Okay. The baby goat, why? The baby goat, starting with the baby goat, because it's cute. Yeah, but why else? Why else? Baby Billy Goat, because he was scared and he still charged forward. Good. You thought he was brave, Lila? Okay. The smallest, Kea, because it's the smartest. Yeah, the baby one thought of this trick, right? To get across the bridge. It's smart. The little Billy Goat, yeah, because we had the cute already. Yeah. Because he's smart and brave. Yeah, Brandon, that's good. Okay. All right. So some of you said the big Billy Goat was your favorite character. I'm going to go back and look and see what you said about that in the chat. The oldest, The big Billy Goat Gruff, Nate says, because he knocked off the troll. Okay. And Riven says big Billy Goat because he threw the troll up in the air because he hits the troll with his horns. Okay. I'm looking for more reasons why. Vincent says because he's strong. Yeah. 'Cause he's strong. Okay, so those are pretty, you kind of agree on the big Billy Goat, why you like the big Billy Goat. Okay. Looking for any more. Okay, here's Alex. Favorite was the big brother because he got rid of the troll. The most interesting was the little one because he tricked the troll. Okay. All right. All right, good. So some of you like the little Billy Goat, some of you like the really big one. Let's go back and see who thought the troll was was your favorite character. Who said the troll? I'm going back through the chat now looking for troll. Looking for troll, looking for troll, looking for troll. You mostly like the goats. They're the ones we're rooting for. Yeah. I'm still looking for someone who liked the troll best. Anybody like the troll best? It's more unusual. Yeah? Oh, okay. Hannelore. I like the troll because he's very dumb. So you thought he was funny, probably, Hannelore? Yeah? I'm seeing if anyone else and because he's dumb, you wrote that before. Okay. The troll, Surihi. It doesn't say why. Why did you like the troll? Okay. Not so many with the troll. Not so many with the troll. Okay, Bernice says Eric likes the troll because of his sharp teeth. Okay, so the troll, you guys, in this story, the troll is the villain. I'm going to write that. Villain. Villain. In a lot of fairy tales, there's a villain. There's the character that you're really hoping is not going to win, not going to get what they want. And in this story, yeah, we don't really want the troll to get what he wants because he wants to eat these cute billy goats, and we don't want that because we're rooting for them. So the troll in the story is the villain. So that's a good word to know. It's good to have a villain. It's good to have a bad guy or gal in your fairy tale because then it makes it way more interesting. It makes it more dramatic. If you don't have drama in your story, then it's boring. It's boring. You need to have drama. You need to have interesting characters, and you need to have some drama. We'll talk more about drama later this week. Right now, we're talking about these characters, and you've told me all who your favorite character is. So, you guys, I was not able to email you before the class because it wasn't set up, but I would like you to have drawing paper and materials every day so we can draw. We are going to draw today. So if you don't have any close by, if you could go fetch some, that would be awesome because right now what we're going to do, we're going to take our dance break and then we're going to draw our favorite character in this story. And when you do that, guys, you can draw the character like it was in the video, or you can draw it a different way. If you want to draw the troll and you think the troll should be pink with, purple hair and like a green nose, you should draw him that way because that's your imagination, your creativity. If you think the little Billy Goat should be a girl, you should draw her that way. It's up to you because it's your imagination, and in this class, your imagination is really, really important. All right, so I'm going to share the screen. We are going to dance. I'm dancing to this video from Happy by Pharrell Williams, and these are the Incredibles. This is from the Incredibles. So here we go. Now, share the screen. Happy 5 a.m. Here we go. I'm going to make this bigger.
bring me down. I said, bring me down. Kingdom, bring me down. The love is too high. Bring me down. Kingdom, bring me down. I said, come along if you feel like a room without a roof. Come along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Come along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Come on if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, kingdom. Bring me down. The love is too high. Bring me down, kingdom. Bring me down. I said, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
Mom? All right. Hey, you guys. I'm going to close that out. Okay. I need some water. What'd you think of that? Can we turn on the chat? See if you like that. Oh. Excellent. So there are lots of those, and they're all different characters dancing to that song, and some of them are kids, and some of them are grown-ups, and some of them are creatures like that, silly and fun, good. And I hope you feel rejuvenated. I certainly do, and I'm feeling happy. Yeah, excellent. Okay, cool. So, excellent. We will do that every day with a different one of those videos. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right, so let's leave the chat on for a bit because I'm going to take some questions, but what I need you to do, take out your drawing paper and your crayons, your markers, because you're going to be drawing your favorite character in this story. And actually, before we start that, let me talk a little bit about screen sharing, because not today, we're not going to start today, but tomorrow we'll probably start sharing the screen so some of you can show your work, like show your artwork. And so in order to do that, for me to share my screen with you, you will need to have your camera working, and you'll be able to put your camera on once we make you a co-host. That we'll start doing that tomorrow, just for a few of you. So, but you'll have to make sure that your camera works and that you're in a place where we can see you clearly. Like, I don't really like this background. I'm actually not home right now. I am in Bellingham, Washington. I'm visiting friends, and I'm 2 hours from Seattle. And I'm in an office in this kind of orange color. It's not the best for what we're doing, but this is where I am today. Tomorrow I'll be home, and it'll be white around me. It'll be easier to see me, and there'll be more light. It's good to have your computer so that there's light behind your computer, and that way we can see you more clearly, and that's important. And I am going to want to see some of your artwork. So we're going to share some of your artwork, and you can talk about the choices you made in your artwork. Talking about artwork, when you do your art, it's good if you have a lot of contrasts in your artwork. I'm going to write that in the chat. Contrast, like of colors. I'm going to show you an example. So in another class I'm teaching, I'm doing the Sneetches, Dr. Seuss. So you see there's a lot of contrast in this picture. You can see the picture really well because there's a bright white and then there's a dark green and there's a yellow. So those are all really different colors. You can see them really well. As opposed to if you did your drawing in pencil or something, it would look like this, so you can hardly see it, right? It's really hard to see. So I want to be able to see your drawings. So it's good if you have really white paper and you use really bold colors. That will help us be able to see your pictures. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So I would like you now, we're going to spend a few minutes drawing. And yes, you can draw. And make sure if we can open up the chat, if people have questions, they can ask questions about that, about the drawing now. And I'm going to give you a few minutes. Thank you. They're supposed to be drawing one of the characters from the Three Billy Goats Gruff. Yeah, Lori, one of the characters from the story we just heard. Maybe their favorite one. You can paint too. You can paint too. And if I get any more spam, we're going to turn off the chat. So, yeah. Sure, the book cover. I don't have the book cover. I guess I can share the screen of the video. Actually, I don't want to do that because I want you to be, I want you to use your imagination. So there's 3 billy goats and there's a troll. So you can draw it like it was in the video, or you can make up your own idea of what it looks like. Tomorrow I'll make sure I have a book too. I'm not home right now, so let's see. Let's see, share the screen. Yeah, sorry, I don't have it up here anymore. So I'm gonna go back. No, I don't know. Okay. So you're drawing one of the goats, or you're drawing the troll? Use your imagination. And we'll go for another minute of this, and then I will ask what you guys came up with, and I will take notes on so that for tomorrow I can call on some of you. And I will send the video home in your email so you can watch it again if that will help. I have a feeling I'll have a lot of little Billy Goats because a lot of you thought he was your favorite character. So I'm assuming that. Okay. Let's share in the chat. What are you working on? Which character are you drawing and how are you drawing them? And you can share that in the chat and I will take some notes and maybe tomorrow we will share them on the screen. Layla's drawing baby belly go out like a lamb. What does that mean, Layla? I don't understand. Isabel's drawing the little baby goat. And Stephanie's drawing the troll. Stephanie, how are you drawing the troll? What are you drawing it like the video or are you drawing it different than was in the video? You can color it any way you want. Isabel, your little baby goat is happy, cool, and making it a girl, that's great, awesome. And Stephanie's doing her troll like the video. Anjala, how are you doing the baby goat? How are you doing the baby goat? I'd like to know. And Chastity doing it with a crayon. Chastity with a smile. Awesome. Kalia is drawing the baby goat using goat pictures as a reference with a pen. Good. Hannah-Laura is doing the troll. Hannah-Laura, how are you doing the troll? Like, can you describe like the colors? Are you doing it like the video or differently? I'm looking for Hannah-Laura to answer. And meanwhile, Vincent is doing the biggest billy goat as a dragon. That sounds very imaginative, Vincent. Yeah. Cool. Isabel starting with a pencil. Bernice and Eric are drawing the troll with a big belly and sharp teeth. Nice. And Beck is drawing them all. Wow. And Elise is drawing the great big billy goat. Looks more like a rhino. Okay. And Hannah-Laura is doing the troll ugly. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense if the troll would be ugly. Yeah. What else? What else we got that's not spam? So Charmian, the medium goat. We didn't talk about the medium goat. How are you drawing the medium goat? Like, what are you doing? What colors are you using? We didn't really talk about the medium one too much. I'd like to know. What are new messages? Let's see what else we got. Charmian's green, red, and purple. Ooh, those are good colors. And Dancy isn't quite able to draw yet, but she can scribble her goat. She comprehends the material. She's 2.5. Wow. You guys, we have a 2.5-year-old. Welcome. That's awesome. I hope she gets stuff out of it. And Chastity's drawing grass, so she's drawing. Okay, good. So Chastity says she's drawing grass. So she's drawing, I'm going to write this word down because this is another part of the recipe for the good fairy tale. The setting. The setting, what does that mean? What does setting mean? It means the place where the story takes place. The place where the story takes place. And some fairy tales take place in like a bunch of different places. This one doesn't. It really only has one setting. And the setting for this story is the pasture and the other pasture and the river and the bridge. That's the setting. That's the scene here. Yeah, meadow. Yeah, thank you, Hannah-Laura. Scene, setting, same thing. So if you feel like it, if you keep working on your drawing after this class, preparing for tomorrow, you might want to draw your character in the setting. And brown bear, Lila, you have a bear in your background? That's interesting. Okay, Sharanya is 3.5, so Mama is typing on her behalf. Thanks, Mama. She's drawing baby goat with lots of smiley faces. Excellent. Excellent. I want to make sure to get some of the really young ones tomorrow with Mom or Dad there. Layla, I'm still really curious about this bear. You have a bear in yours. Lila's inventing characters. That's kind of cool, actually. That's kind of cool. Emma has a billy goat wiggling his tail. Nice. Oh, so Layla, you're changing the troll into a bear? Is that you're changing the character into a bear? You can do that. Layla's being quite imaginative here. She's changing that character. I think that's what Layla's doing. I'm not sure. But that looks like what she's doing. You can do that. You're interpreting the story however you want to interpret the story. Okay, Casey is enjoying drawing the setting sun. Oh, so you're having it like the end of the day? At the end of the day? That's cool. That sounds like a really pretty drawing. That does. That sounds like a really pretty drawing. In the video we watched, it looked like it was like in the middle of the day, right? But I don't see why it couldn't be at like the end of the day, like that. And Honolulu is drawing the troll falling in the water. That's good because that like telling part of the story. Your picture will be telling part of the story. Dia is drawing all the goats and the grass. Nice, nice, excellent. And here is 3.5-year-old is trying to draw the baby goat. Good one. And Varshika changed the little goat into a turtle. Nice. Yes, use your imagination. I totally love that. I totally love that. And Elise changed the boy troll into a girl troll. Ooh, that would be interesting. So Elise, how are you drawing the girl troll? What does she look like? And Haley's putting a lot of detail into drawing the bridge. So she's drawing part of the setting. She's drawing part of the setting. Yeah? So what have we talked about today? We've talked about character and setting. And those are important parts of the recipe. Those are important parts of the recipe for a fairy tale. And Isabel's drawing the back of one of the goats. That sounds hard. That sounds really hard to do. So good for you. Okay, excellent. So you guys, Misha, we can turn off the chat now. We have only a few minutes left. I want to talk a little bit more about character before the end of class today. So in most every fairy tale, there's a villain, like the troll in this one is a villain. It's the character you don't want to succeed. It's the character you're just hoping won't get what they want. And in this story, that character is the troll. And what the troll wants in this story is to eat the billy goats. And you're really hoping, most people would really be hoping that the troll doesn't get what he wants, because then this would have a very unhappy ending. There are fairy tales with unhappy endings, but this one isn't. So there's almost always a villain, a bad guy in your story, in your fairy tale, and there's definitely always a main character. The main character is the one you're rooting for, the one you're going, oh, I hope this character gets what they want. In this story, you could say the main character is all the billy goats. You could interpret it that way because they're brothers and they're together and they all want the same thing. They all want to get over the bridge so that they can eat the grass, and they all want to live long enough to do that, so they don't want the troll to eat them. And we're rooting for them. We want them to succeed. We want them to succeed. You could say that they were all the main character, or you could actually say that you could argue that one of them is the main character. Like, I think a lot of you thought the baby billy goat was your favorite character, and you could argue that he was the main character. You could argue that because he's he's the littlest, and he's really brave, and he outsmarts the troll, and you admire him, and you don't want him to die. You want him to succeed. And he's really little. He might only be like, I don't know, if he was a human kid, he might be only like 2 or 3. I mean, in this story, he can hardly talk, right? I mean, he's just sounds like he's learning to talk. So he's really little. So he's really sympathetic. You really want him to succeed. You don't want him to be eaten by the troll, and you want him to get over the bridge and eat the grass. And he's so brave because he volunteers to go first, which is what you guys said when you wrote about him. So you kind of might argue that he's the main character, or it seems to me like either you would think he was the main character, or all 3 billy goats would be the main character. I kind of think it could go either way. So you don't have to kind of get too hung up on that, but usually there's one main character, like, and it's usually like the name of the fairy tale, like Little Red Riding Hood. Who's the main character? Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah, that kind of thing. Cinderella. Who's the main character? Cinderella. That kind of thing. So as we go through the week, we're going to be looking at who is the main character, and who is the villain, who's the one we want to win, and who is the one we're not rooting for and we're hoping is going to lose and not get what they want. And those are important parts of the recipe. Those are really important parts of the recipe. Okay, Mishra, can you turn on the chat just for the last couple of minutes if anybody has any questions? And you guys keep working on your drawings, and I will share the screen with a few of you tomorrow to talk about your drawings. So we're opening up the chat. You can leave now. Yeah, we're pretty much done, but I'm just waiting to see if there are any questions as we go. We have our last minute. We've done a lot today. Yeah, we've done a whole lot today. And if you're going, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do a different fairy tale, and we'll talk about the character, we'll talk about the setting, and we'll talk about, you're welcome, Stetson. And we'll go on with what else is in the recipe for a good story. Emma, I'm glad you're done with your drawing. Cool. Save it for tomorrow, okay? Save it for tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. Bye. Okay.
Good attacking, Wizard Luminor. Now, Wizard counter. What? Self-destruction, Wizard counter? I'm supposed to get you in a bird. It's impossible. One bird is impossible. Mom?